In the heart of the fog-shrouded English countryside stood Blackwood Manor, a decrepit estate, long abandoned and rumored to be haunted. The local villagers whispered of eerie lights flickering in the windows and ghostly figures roaming the grounds. Few dared to venture near, especially after sunset. Evelyn Carter, a young historian with a fascination for the macabre, had heard the stories and felt an irresistible pull towards the manor. She was determined to uncover the truth behind the legends. Armed with a camera, a flashlight, and a notebook, Evelyn arrived at Blackwood Manor on a chilly autumn evening, the setting sun casting long shadows over the overgrown gardens. As she approached the grand entrance, the heavy wooden door creaked open with a reluctant groan, as if warning her to turn back. Ignoring the ominous sign, Evelyn stepped inside. The air was thick with dust and the musty scent of decay. Her footsteps echoed through the vast, empty hallways, each creak of the floorboards making her heart race a little faster. The interior of the manor was a testament to its former glory, now faded and covered in cobwebs. Elaborate tapestries hung on the walls, their colors dulled by time. Chandeliers, once sparkling with hundreds of candles, now hung lifeless and dark. Evelyn's flashlight beam cut through the darkness, revealing glimpses of the past in the antique furniture and family portraits lining the walls. Evelyn had done her research. The Blackwood family, once wealthy and influential, had vanished without a trace over a century ago. The disappearance was shrouded in mystery, with no clues left behind. As she wandered through the rooms, she felt an unsettling presence, as if she were being watched by unseen eyes. She reached the grand staircase, its ornate banister covered in a thick layer of dust. As she ascended, she heard a faint whisper, a voice so soft it was almost inaudible. She paused, straining to hear more, but the house fell silent once again. At the top of the stairs, she found a series of bedrooms, each more eerie than the last. The beds were still made, as if the occupants might return at any moment. One room, however, stood out. The door was slightly ajar, and a cold draft seeped through the gap. Evelyn pushed the door open and gasped. The room was a child's nursery, untouched by time. Toys lay scattered on the floor, and a rocking chair by the window swayed gently, though there was no breeze. Her flashlight flickered and died, plunging the room into darkness. Panic surged through her as she fumbled to replace the batteries. When the light returned, she was no longer alone. A figure stood by the window, its back turned to her. It was a woman in a long, flowing dress, her hair cascading down her back. "Hello?" Evelyn's voice trembled as she called out. The figure remained still. Summoning her courage, Evelyn stepped closer, her footsteps muffled by the thick carpet. She reached out a hand, and the figure turned slowly to face her. Evelyn's scream caught in her throat as she looked into the hollow, empty eyes of a ghostly apparition. The woman opened her mouth as if to speak, but no words came out. Instead, a chilling wail echoed through the room, a sound of pure agony and despair. Evelyn stumbled back, her flashlight slipping from her grasp and clattering to the floor. The room spun around her, and she felt herself being pulled into darkness. When she awoke, she was lying on the cold, hard floor of the nursery. The apparition was gone, and the room was silent once more. Evelyn picked up her flashlight, its beam now weak and flickering. She had to find out who the ghost was and why she haunted this place. Evelyn made her way to the manor's library, hoping to find some answers. The room was lined with floor-to-ceiling bookshelves, filled with dusty tomes and forgotten secrets. She scanned the spines, looking for anything that might help her understand the history of the Blackwood family. She pulled out an old leather-bound journal, its pages yellowed with age. It belonged to Amelia Blackwood, the last known member of the family. As Evelyn read through the entries, a tragic story began to unfold. Amelia had been a loving mother, devoted to her young daughter, Lily. But the family had been cursed. An old enemy, wronged by the Blackwoods, had placed a hex on them, condemning their souls to eternal unrest. The curse had taken its toll, driving the family to madness and ultimately to their mysterious disappearance. Amelia's final entry was a desperate plea for forgiveness and a vow to protect her daughter even in death. Evelyn realized the ghost she had seen was Amelia, trapped in the manor, unable to move on. Determined to help, Evelyn searched for anything that could break the curse. She found a reference to an old forbidden ritual in a dusty grimoire hidden in a secret compartment behind a bookshelf. The ritual required a personal item from the cursed soul and a recitation of an ancient incantation. Evelyn knew she had to find something that belonged to Amelia or Lily. She returned to the nursery, her flashlight now flickering weakly. In a small carved wooden box, she found a delicate locket containing a portrait of Amelia and Lily. It was perfect. As she prepared for the ritual, the air grew colder and the manor seemed to come alive with whispers and shadows. Evelyn could feel the weight of countless eyes upon her, watching her every move. She lit candles around the locket and began to recite the incantation. The air crackled with energy and the room grew darker, the shadows deepening until they seemed to swallow the light. A figure emerged from the darkness. It was Amelia, her ghostly form more solid now, her eyes filled with sorrow and hope. Evelyn continued the incantation, her voice steady despite the fear gripping her heart. The shadows writhed and twisted, forming grotesque shapes that loomed over her. She could hear the cries of the damned, the souls trapped by the curse, and she knew she had to finish the ritual. With the final words, a blinding light filled the room and the shadows dissipated. Amelia's form began to fade, her expression one of peace and gratitude. As she vanished, Evelyn heard her whisper, "Thank you." The manor fell silent once more, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. Evelyn knew the curse had been broken and the souls of the Blackwood family were finally at rest. She left the manor, the first rays of dawn breaking over the horizon, feeling a sense of accomplishment and a deep connection to the past. But as she reached the edge of the property, she couldn't shake the feeling that something was still watching her from the shadows. She turned back one last time and saw a figure standing in the doorway of Blackwood Manor. It was a little girl, her eyes wide and filled with curiosity. Lily. Evelyn realized that while she had freed Amelia, Lily's spirit remained bound to the manor. She knew she couldn't leave the job half done. Taking a deep breath, she turned back toward the manor, ready to face whatever lingering darkness awaited her. As she stepped through the door, the figure of Lily disappeared into the depths of the house, leading her on a new journey to uncover the final piece of the Blackwood mystery.